Welcome, race fans, to the SimWorld Racing Network's presentation of the Quick Finishers Racing League Cup Series. This is the Richmond, north of Richmond 240 from Richmond Raceway. I am your host, David Hillbilly Hera, and in the booth with me, as always, is David Lafano. David, back at Richmond. What should we expect for tonight?
Yeah, excited to be back on the short tracks. Richmond always usually puts on a good show. I know we've got a smaller car count tonight, but that's not going to stop these drivers from going for it here tonight. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, coming to the playoffs, so every point matters at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here on this 3/4 mile asphalt track here in Richmond. Track temperature is 118 degrees. It is hot out there this evening. Should put on some really good racing. But quickly, let's jump over and take a look at what we're looking at in the regular season standings here coming into tonight's races. It's going to be quite the battle. Is shaping up. So we have James Nelson as your current points leader, just ahead of Eric Thornton, Curtis Sovereign, Michael Kerjlak, and Zoltan Nagy in fifth. We do have some drivers, as you said, the small field, so we got a few drivers not going to make it tonight. Looks like Kenneth Pack is not going to be here tonight, but I believe maybe locked into the playoffs already. Looks like on points he will be locked into that top 16 in the playoffs here, so should be in pretty good shape heading into this one.
Yeah, we got a few drivers, like you said, Kenneth Pack, not seeing Rada or Zulu, second place in points. I believe that is
Eric Thornton. Yeah.
Eric Thornton not here tonight as well. So there's a few other drivers here that are missing, but they still got a few minutes. Maybe they can hop in, but looks like so far 10 drivers are going to take the grid for tonight.
Yeah, typically we see Nathan Christensen in here as well, not seeing him. Only a couple minutes left in practice before qualifying begins. So there's a little bit of time for drivers to get in last minute. We have seen it before. Now, Nathan Christensen is on the outside in 18th position in points. Not sure if he has a win on the season or not. He may have a win here, Dave. I'm not really sure if he's won in this series yet or not. But nonetheless, this is going to shake up the points. We'll check them out next week. And as we get a little closer to the playoffs, we'll kind of give you the full playoff grid and get everybody up to speed on what's happening there. But while we got a few minutes here, let's go ahead and go down trackside, get our pre-race activities underway, and get this thing ready for qualifying. Please rise if you're able and remove your hat as the United States Navy Band performs our national anthem. Once again, we'd like to shout out the United States Naval Band for their rendition of our national anthem. Qualifying set to get started here for this 240-lap event tonight at the Richmond Raceway. I expect to see some pretty good racing. As you said, it's going to be a small field, but they've been known to put on some really good racing, even with the smaller fields. A lot of times that creates a little more drama for the long run, for the strategy, for things like that to happen, as you don't have as much of the mayhem and chaos that can happen with the larger fields.
Yeah, with a smaller field, I'm kind of expecting a little bit more mild race, I would think. but we'll see how it shakes out here. It's still Richmond.
That is a fact. It is still Richmond. I'm sure we'll say that a couple more times before this night's over. It's Richmond. It's Richmond. But yeah, so we got Tommy Osborne here on track taking his lap. Tyrone Yo is out on as Tyrone Yo is at the top of the board with a 23.5. First to take a lap here. Bovair times in second with a 23.53. Kerjelak jumping to the top of the board with a 23.20, followed by Sauber with a 23.33. That is not a duplicate of the names there, folks. That is James Nelson and Tyler Nelson, 5th and 6th. Robinson jumps up to 3rd with a 23.49, followed by Yo's 23.58. So Yo will stay in that position. Looks like Tyler Nelson jumps up to 3rd with a 23.42. Michael Kerjelak timing in that 23.11. No, not 23.11 racing, 23.11 on the score chart. Currently at the top of the board. Boone timing in with a 23.72, times in 7th. That may be all the drivers to see. James Bowden has not taken a lap. Only driver not to take a lap thus far. As we have Michael Kerjelak as your current pole sitter, Curtis Sauber 2nd. Tyler Nelson getting a good qualifying run will start 3rd. 4th will be Gregory Robinson in that number 3 Chevrolet. 5th, Tyrone Yo, followed by Michael Bovair in 6th. Michael Boone will start in the 7th position with James Nelson. James getting an uncharacteristic qualifying effort here tonight with a 23.75. He's going to start in the 8th spot with Tommy Osborne timing in 9th. And James Bowden's going to round out the field. If James is still with us, hopefully he's still in the field here tonight and just electing not to take a lap. Got just a couple minutes left here in qualifying, Dave. Richmond Raceway, always a fun track. Now, we know it can get slick off the corners a lot of times here, especially off of 4. Drivers tend to get too much throttle, put too much throttle down, and you can really lose the rear of these cars here exiting the corner.
Yeah, and you'll see some different strategy tonight as far as shifting. So some drivers, may choose to stay right in 5th gear. Some will downshift getting into these corners. So exiting the corner in a little bit lower gear there produces a little bit more tire spin and a little bit more throttle control. So we'll kind of look for those loose off situations all night.
Yeah, excited to get this thing underway here tonight. And I'm sure these drivers are as well. Again, this is the Quick Finishers Racing League Cup Series brought to you by AutoServe. AutoServe, get your work done at AutoServe. If you're in the Charlestown, West Virginia area, you need service to your vehicle or just want to get a tune-up, go check them out there at AutoServe. Best in the business right there in Charlestown, West Virginia. That is not Charleston, West Virginia, but you can get there from Charleston. But it's Charlestown.
And the stage breaks tonight. So stage 1 will come to an end at lap 42. Stage 2 will go from 42 up to 138, and then we'll finish it off from there at lap 240.
Yeah, and I'm hearing they can get anywhere from 70 to 75 laps on a tank of fuel, which means, the first stage they'll be able to make it all the way without having to stop. But that second stage is going to be, by the time they do the caution laps and everything, take fresh tires and fuel, it's going to be about 93, 94 laps if it stays green. So that would mean green flag stops would be on the menu for that particular run. So it can get very interesting with the strategy, especially if there's a caution for incidents somewhere in that stage 2. You could see a variety of different things happen as far as, folks wanting to take on fuel a little early. Again, you'd want to be some 20 laps into the run before you did that. But, yeah, we'll just have to try to break it down for you the best we can as we go along. Looks like the cars are starting to grid up. Let's go down trackside and check it out. See if we can get with our pole sitter there, Michael Kerjelak, at the front of the field on the inside row. Michael Kerjelak in that number 19 Ford will start on the pole. Outside pole will be Curtis Sauber in the number 54 Toyota. Tyler Nelson starting row 2. He's our rookie in the race. And that number 85 Chevrolet. Gregory Robinson to his outside. Gregory Robinson, that's old Smokey Robinson, out of Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Running that number 3 Chevy. Then we have Tyrone Yo and Michael Bovair in row 3 with Michael Boone and James Nelson in row 4. Tommy Osborne and James Bowden will round out the field here as we have the one to go here. Get this thing started up, Dave.
Yeah, it looks like lights are out. Typically, they do a couple laps here on the short tracks, but it looks like lights are out.
It suits me just fine. Let's get this thing rolling. Get these guys turning some laps here. Get the action underway. I'm here for it all the way to the end. Thank you for joining us. If you're enjoying yourself, be sure and smash that thumbs up button. It's the best thing you can do for free right here on SimWorld Racing Network. Oh, there is another lap. Okay. The lights were out on the pace car, though. That is what it is. We'll take it.
It just gives them another lap to think about how bad turn 1's going to be here on the restart.
Yeah, they better play nice early on. You don't want to get your car damaged up. We do have one fast repair if they do have it. A driver has an issue, but you don't want to have to use that thing because if cautions come out later in the race, that's when chaos ensues. If you guys were unable to watch the All-American Racing League at Daytona there the other night, I suggest you go back and watch the replay of that race. That was an incredible race. As green flag is in hand and green flag is out, Michael Kurgelak leads the way as we head down into turn 1. Kurds getting clear of that 54.
Looks like the 85 of Tyler Nelson's going to be able to clear Gregory Robinson down the corner. James Nelson now digging on the bottom, trying to find a way around Robinson.
Yeah, now the leader is under fire by Curtis Sauber in the 54, working the low side. 19 works the high side. 54 is going to get a great run off the corner. Gets a little bit loose there, but able to pull alongside the 19. Still, as they work side by side as they exit for heading back to the start-finish line, 19 is going to get clear on that high side with the momentum. James Nelson up 5 positions already to the 3rd spot. As you mentioned, he was trying to get around the 3 there. Well, he's gotten around a whole bunch of people to move himself up to that 3rd position in that number 75 AutoServe car. A little further back, got Tyrone Yo and Tommy Osborne battling it out. Michael Bovair losing a little spots. Michael Bovair actually driving with a new wheel tonight, so congratulations to Bovair for getting, I believe we got him an R9, so congratulations on that, getting it all set up. So his first race with that new wheel. So he's trying to work over the 54 of James Bowden.
Looks like he's going to be able to clear Bowden off of turn number 2.
Single foul all the way through the field right now, it appears. Let's see if we can pull up a track map here for everyone. Find where your favorite driver is. Let us know in the comment who you're rooting for tonight. Or in the comments, if I can use the English language tonight, it'd be a good thing too. Michael Boone awful slow there on the high side. Not sure what happened to him there. Didn't really see any incident, but really slowed up on that high side, and a bunch of the drivers able to get around him, putting him back to that 10th and final position on track. Out front, Michael Kurgelak leads the way, some 0.6 of a second over Curtis Sauber and James Nelson in 3rd, with Gregory Robinson 4th and Tyler Nelson rounding out your top 5. Battle now is for that 3rd spot. The 3 of Robinson is starting to run down the 75 now a little bit.
Yeah, Kerjalek still up front, maintaining, if I could speak English as well, maintaining that 6/10 of a second. Kerjalek, another one of those drivers, I believe, who has not won a race here with the QFRL, if I'm mistaken. I think he's hunting for his first win.
Tonight would be the night he's going to have an opportunity. He seems to have a very, very fast Ford. But if Curtis Sauber, James Nelson, and Smokey Robinson and these guys have anything to say about it, that's not going to happen. But I don't count Kerjalak out of anything here lately. He's been super quick anytime he takes the track in any of these series that we run here on SimRacing Racing Network.
Yeah, maybe we can make it back-to-back races here. We had the first-time season winner last week in the AARL Daytona race. Chad Snyder getting his first win of the season. Maybe we can do that again here with Michael Kerjalek.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was, I mean, I'm just going to say it was one hell of a race. I think it went 88 laps, green flag. Then the cautions started coming out, and it was just one after another with those cautions. Guys trying to get everything they could out of the last few laps of that race. An incredible finish. I suggest you go check out that race. It was a lot of fun. Really, really good action throughout that one. We're expecting some of the same here tonight, but Tommy Osborne working his way up through the field. He's now up 4 spots, currently in the 5th position. Has overtaken Tyler Nelson, Tyrone Yo, Michael Bovair, past all those guys. Now finds himself in that 5th spot, trying to run down the 1 of Robinson.
Yeah, and Tommy was, I think, 2nd or 3rd on the practice speed. So we'll see what he's got here for maybe a long run car. He's kind of slowly making his way up through here.
Don't look now, but James Nelson has started running down Curtis Sauber for that 2nd spot as we see Michael Kerjalak pulling out to about 1.2 seconds, 1.1 over Curtis Sauber. That's 75, slowly starting to reel in this 54. Kerjalak must have slipped up a little bit or just backed off of it. He's only 0.7 of a second now. I mean, literally just a second ago when I was talking about it, it was 1.2, and now it's only 0.6 of a second. So half of that lead has dwindled away to the 54 as the 75 continues to search for speed. Looking high there through the 1 and 2 to get a really good run off. He's now to the bumper through 3 and 4 of the 54 machine of Curtis Sauber.
Yeah, and just going back to that, it looks like Kerjalak got a little loose off of turn 2 a couple laps ago, and that gave some time back to the 54. But you're right, James Nelson driving for everything it's worth, looking for a way around this 54 car.
Yeah, I saw that interesting move where he went really, really high in 1 and 2. And the drive off and down the backstretch was incredible. Really helped his speed. Now, I don't know what that would do to his tires on the longer run. But as they're going to run out, 42 laps here in this first stage. So you've still got another, 24 laps to go in the stage. Maybe a little too early to start beating on the tires too much.
Yeah, and I think if you're Kerjalak right now, you're seeing that lead kind of shrink a little bit under a second now. I think you just got to find that pace. Don't push too hard. Save some tires. You still got a ways to go before the stage break. So try to keep those tires underneath you.
Yeah, and the good thing is for everyone that made it in the field tonight, they're all going to get bonus points for the stage finishes because there's, everybody in the top 10 scores stage points. And there's only 10 cars, so everybody's going to score some kind of points. It's just who scores the most, who gets the elusive stage win, which will carry points throughout the playoffs. That's very valuable for the playoffs to be able to carry those points all the way through. Now the gap between first to second and second to third is kind of stabilized here with Kerjalak being about 0.9 of a second over Sauber, and Sauber is 0.6 of a second over Nelson. And then it's another almost 2.5 seconds back to the 3 of Smokey Robinson, who's now under fire from the 1 of Tommy Osborne. About a couple car lengths separating those two drivers. This will probably be the closest battle in the field right now, as the 1 tries looking low, now looking high. He's going to get a good run down the front stretch. If you're just tuning in, you're watching the Richmond, north of Richmond 240 from the Richmond Raceway here in Richmond, Virginia. This is the Quick Finishers Racing League Cup Series. You're watching it right here on the Sim World Racing Network. Oh, the 3 gets a bump from the 1. Really slows up the 1's momentum. Gets the 3 a little out of shape there. 3 having to gather it back up. I think the 1 didn't really mean to make that contact, so he kind of backed out to let the 3 save it. But this battle is happening some 4 seconds behind James Nelson, as James Nelson starts to run down the 54 of Sauber once again. The gap from the leader is still 0.9 of a second back to second place Sauber, but the battle behind them, behind Sauber, or the car behind Sauber of James Nelson, is really starting to chip away at that advantage, closing the gap to like 4 car lengths now between himself and the second place 54 machine. Osborne able to get around Robinson. Battles happening there. Now Robinson back around the 1 of Osborne. Didn't mean to cut you off there, Dave.
I was just about to say the same thing you did. Yeah, Osborne's putting some pressure on Robinson here. Looked like he took a look to the outside, couldn't quite make it stick, but trying to regroup and try to find a way around the 3.
Yeah, and their battling is allowing Tyler Nelson and Michael Bovair to close in on them a little bit. It's like the 3 may be holding the 1 up just a tidbit here. Now the 1's going to try looking to the outside. Closes right to the back bumper again and has to check up for the 3.
Yeah, Tommy Osborne's looking in his mirror, seeing these 2 drivers, like you said, creep in. He's got to find a way around. Time to go as he's going to get a good run.
And the 3 hits the wall. That's going to allow the 1 to get alongside. Now going to complete that pass heading down into turn 1. Move Tommy Osborne to the 4th position. He and James Nelson both up 5 positions from where they started the day. Biggest movers of the race thus far. 54 of Sauber starting to close in. A couple of tenths now on leader Michael Kerjelak. He's cut it down to, it was at 7/10, and then by the time I got to him, it's back to 9/10 again. I think Kerjelak may be just managing the gap, is what we're seeing there. Tyler Nelson doing a pretty good job here maintaining that car. Again, he's our rookie of the series, rookie to iRacing, and really doing a good job here tonight at Richmond.
So we're going to have 10 laps to go in the stage. Kind of watching some of these drivers on their in-car cameras. Tires are really starting to kind of go away. You can see the car's really starting to not want to turn anymore down into the corner. It looks like Curtis Sovereign, his car seems to turn a little bit better right now than Kerjelak's, as he's slowly gaining on the back here.
See if we can jump on board that helmet cam of Curtis Sovereign here. See what he's doing with the shifting.
Yeah, both the leaders right now are shifting.
Nice steady wheel for Sauber there through 1 and 2. And down the backstretch, it's heading into 3. Oh, gets down that apron just a little bit. I do hear one thing out of this car, Dave. When Curtis Auburn's shifting, it gets really loose there off the corner, but I don't think he's using the auto blip, and it's taking quite some time to get between gears.
Yeah, I see that. I'm going to take a look at Kergelak, see what that looks like.
Maybe these guys are using auto blip, and it's just the way it's being translated back through iRacing. Because I can't imagine both of them are not doing it, but I noticed the delay on Kergelak's as well. So very hard to tell. And what that is for the folks at home, is we got a couple laps left here in the stage. We can set a setting up for auto blip, which is basically you're gonna kind of blip the throttle yourself and shift rather than using the clutch. But then there's other methods you can use, which does like an auto clutch scenario, but it's much slower on the shifts and can cause you a little bit of loss of speed, really, on accelerating through the gears.
Yeah, and I'm looking at James Nelson. His shifts are a lot quicker than Sovereign or Kergelak, so you could be onto something there.
Yeah, I wasn't aware either of those drivers were using that. Now, I did talk with Curtis Auburn there once before about, he was talking about wanting a little help on restarts and not quite having the speed, and that would be the answer right there. You lose quite a bit of speed for sure, especially on restarts if it's doing the auto clutch. The 48 of Beauvais able to get around Gregory Robinson to take over the 5th spot, move the 48 to 5th. Now we have Tyler Nelson working around the 3. And looks like James Bowden, the 3, really struggling here late in this run as we are on the final lap here for Michael Kergelak as he comes around this time. He will be, if he can make it off of 4 here to the start-finish line, your winner of Stage 1 is Michael Kergelak. Gets that stage win, followed by Curtis Auburn. James Nelson in 3rd. Looks like Tommy Osborne's got a big enough gap. He'll finish in the 4th position, with Michael Beauvais going to finish 5th. Tyler Nelson 6th. James Bowden 7th. 8th will go to Michael Boone. 9th will be Tyrone Yo. And Smokey Robinson falls to the 10th and final position. Scores that 1 point. Still a bonus point, as we should see all of these drivers hit pit road this time by as the pace car picks up our leader, Michael Kergelak. Should see pit lane open this time by. Everybody's going to come in. Everybody's going to get fuel. Everybody's going to get tires. Say that like I know what I'm talking about, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen here. Yeah, there's no real strategy to not taking tires here, Dave, I don't believe. As this next stage, like I say, is going to be some 93 laps as we roll out to lap 138. End of 138. Maybe 90 laps left in the run whenever they get going, but yeah, it's not going to be as many. I mean, it's not. You're not going to be able to make it all the way on fuel, as you can run 70 to 75 laps on a tank. We are at 60% fuel here as the 85 has to back up, and then he has to pull forward again. Now he has to back up again in his box, too far over. 85 really struggling to get in his pit boxes. Michael Kergelak is the first one off, followed by Curtis Auburn. James Nelson comes off 3rd. Tommy Osborne will exit in the 4th position, with James Bowden jumping up to the 5th position. 6th for Michael Bovair. Smokey Robinson will gain a couple spots to get back to 8th as Michael Boone came off in 7th. Tyrone Yo comes off of the 9th position. And Tyler Nelson, like I say, struggled getting in his box there, but able to get it done, get service, and continue. Well, stage 1 is in the books, Dave. Happened kind of quick. If you'd have blinked, you'd have missed it.
Yeah, I kind of figured this would be the case with the smaller car count. Everyone's kind of minding their P's and Q's, if you will, and trying to just get through this. I expect maybe if we get something, a little bit more aggressive there in the final stage for those positions, but yeah, we'll see. Like I said, we're going to have to probably come and top off on fuel at least, or make a pit stop at least, between now and the end of stage number 2.
Yeah, they're gonna be some 15 to 20 laps short on fuel to make it the entire distance here. So, without a doubt, we'll have to come in. And in my opinion, I think tires. It's really going to be worth it to go ahead and maybe cut this thing in half. You're going to have like 90 laps to go when we get started here. 45 and 45. Be just a couple laps more than they just ran as the pace car is off. 19 fires off inside the Geico restart zone, gets a great jump over the 54. James Nelson and Curtis Sauber battling side by side for that second position. Looks like the 75 going to have the advantage here as he closes in on the back of the 19.
And watch the 75 here. We know James Nelson can be pretty aggressive, especially on the restarts and the short runs. And see if he has anything here for Kerjelak in the early going of stage number 2.
And I noticed Robinson making some moves here. Oh, he's off track. He gets loose off of 4. Loose all the way down the front stretch there, able to hold on to the car, saves it, but it was a heck of a ride for that 3 car.
We've got a battle here through positions 1 through 3 as they're stacked nose to tail. 75 is going to take a look.
Yeah, now first time 19's been challenged all race long. Now looking to the inside, they're door to door. Oh, 75 gets loose, smokes those tires. Now getting passed by the 54 of Sauber. That aggressiveness, Dave, like you said, he's very good at being aggressive early on. Unfortunately, in this case, that slide going to cost him that second spot and quite a bit of real estate on track.
Yeah, and once you get these tires hot like that with a little bit of slide, it takes 2, 3, maybe 4 laps before you can get those tires cool back down. And overall, in the long run, it just kind of hurts you. So you really got to manage the tires here, especially with a little bit longer run here in stage number 2.
Yeah, I noticed Bovair having a little bit of trouble back there, slipping on back to the 10th spot. Tyler Nelson has rebounded nicely after having some pit road woes, has now climbed back up to 5th position for this young man, kind of getting it done here early on in this race. Yeah, James Nelson really paid the price for that slide as the battle for the lead is heating up. Curtis Auburn has closed in within less than a half car length, now a half car length to the 19. Gets right to the bumper, looking to the outside, can't quite make it happen on the outside. He's going to try to look maybe back to the inside here as they come off of 4. No, can't quite get it done. Falls back in line as they head off into 1. Sauber applying the pressure, keeping the 19 on his toes. Now the 19's starting to stretch his legs a little.
Yeah, Kerjelak, who was stage 1 winner, I believe led every single lap. He'd like to do that again right here in stage 2.
It's a lot more laps to have to try to lead, but yeah, I think you're right. If he can get out there and just start clicking off laps again, get away from the pressure, I think is going to be the big thing.
And you see Kerjelak there running kind of the second groove and a half up off the bottom in 1 and 2. Curtis Sauber staying glued to the bottom. And very similar to what we saw in stage 1, it seemed like they could keep it close with Kerjelak for the first handful of laps, and then Kerjelak was able to kind of slowly pull away. I think the most he got in stage 1 was maybe just over a second. So we'll see how this stage runs out, but once again, he's kind of slowly pulling away here, up to 0.4 of a second now.
Yeah, and our first two cars on track, the 19 and the 54, ran identical best laps. So they both have the fastest lap of the race at a 22.78. Their last time by, they both ran 23.08 for their lap times. Now, the fastest on-track last time by was the third-place car of James Nelson running at 22.88. So he was 0.2 quicker than these two guys in front of him, Dave.
Yeah, and you saw James Nelson with that little slide while he was trying to battle for the lead. He's been able to cool those rear tires down just a bit and try to make some ground here while the tires are still somewhat fresh.
Showing a little incident with Bovair. Bovair slow. We'll go back. Excuse me. Go back and see what happened to him. I seen him. We caught up with him. He was coming off of the wall there. He's on the verge of going a lap down here. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened with Mike. As we see Michael closing on the back. Oh yeah, he just gets it loose. And kind of drift style all the way through 1 and 2. Gets it down there, keeps it off the wall, locks up the tires, but keeps it off the wall and gets it going again. Keeps it in the right direction, gets it going again. That save may have not been possible, Dave, had he been running on his other wheel. But this R9 working out for him as he was able to save that car, keep it off the wall, and get going again. Now starting to gap the leaders just a bit, get back on pace.
Yeah, and I know for Bovair, as a sim racer, it's always fun and exciting to get new equipment. But hopefully he's enjoying his time with the new setup.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you get something new, or even for Dave, for me as a sim racer, I tend to I get excited when I find a new setting, or something that I just didn't realize. I'll be like, ooh, I figured this out, or I found this that seems to work out. I think the most recent was extending my, telling my spotter to give me a little bit more room before calling me clear, and I was pretty excited about that.
Even if the setting you find is more of a placebo effect, if it makes you feel better, that's what you're happy about, right?
Absolutely. More times than not, it is a placebo effect, but hey, whatever works. I'll take it.
No, Michael Kerjelak still stretching it out over, just over 0.8 of a second now over Curtis Sauber. James Nelson back there about 2.5 seconds behind our leader. Looks like he's struggling a little bit now as the tires start to wear.
Yeah, we're seeing kind of the same thing out of the 3 again as well. As we're some I don't know. We put it on lap 44, so we've got some 22 laps now on the tires. Starting to see the 3 of Robinson kind of slip back a little bit again. Kind of struggling as the tires wear on that car for sure.
And Tyler Nelson, who had the struggle on his pit stop, he restarted this race dead last, and at one point I believe I saw him up in the 4th position. He has since fallen back to the 8th spot, so I'm struggling a little bit there for Tyler Nelson.
Yeah, and again, let's take a quick look, Dave. I'm concerned, I'm curious. The track temperature was 118 degrees. Looks like it has cooled off just a bit. It's down, quite a bit. Now showing track temps at 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So this track is cooling down. I imagine as the sun starts to go down a little bit here over Richmond Raceway, we should start seeing speeds picking up and maybe tire wear being a little better, hopefully.
Yeah, I think also, as you put more rubber down on these tracks, like anything, you kind of start to gain a little bit of tire wear. It gets better, typically the more rubber that gets put down. Now, this would help more, if you had 20, 25 cars on the track, but this is a little bit slower process, but I think the tire wear does get better the longer you run here.
As the leader, Kerjelak has now caught the tail end of the field. He's caught up with which Gregory Robinson's in. He's come down pit road here on lap 70. Going to go ahead and get that pit stop done. He can make it from here on fuel. But as I was saying, Michael Kerjelak going around the 48 now of Michael Bovair to put him a lap down.
Gregory Robinson disconnected or something. I saw the right sides go up on that car, and then he disconnected.
Unfortunate for Robinson, no longer in the race.
Looks like he manually disconnected, so I don't know if something happened.
And Robinson out of the race will be scored in the 10th position. Michael Bovair, the first car, 1 lap down. He's hoping to be the only car going a lap down here in this stage, which would allow him to get that lucky dog when the caution comes out. However, we still have a good ways to go as we're only on lap 72, now coming to lap 73 of the 138 in this stage.
Yeah, not too sure what led to Robinson disconnecting. It doesn't look like he had any issues on track. Looks like he just came down and started his pit stop, and then left the chat.
Well,
Okay, Gregory Robinson's in our chat now. He said his steering wheel was messing up or acting up, so that's a tough break there for Robinson. Thanks for hopping in here and letting us know.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate that update. Yeah, that's unfortunate. We knew something wasn't right because he's typically fast anywhere and everywhere we go. And it's just like I say, we were noticing his car falling off rather quickly. And like you say, that could very well be it. We saw him get up into the wall a little bit earlier on in the race. And if he's having steering box issues, that could definitely be the case. So thanks for the update there, Smokey. And we hope you get that figured out, bud.
Looks like the gap now is closed a little bit down to almost 0.6, sometimes half a second there. Curtis Sovereign behind Kerjelak.
So let's see, Dave. They put it on lap 44. Restarted about lap 48 with 90 to go. So 48. I'm saying probably between lap 90 and 100, we should start seeing pit stops happen wholesale here for the entire field. What are your thoughts?
Hey, if I'm someone sitting back there like James Nelson, I think you take a chance and come down. I would come down somewhere between laps, say 80, 90 to 95, somewhere in that range, 80 to 95. Try to short pit it here and see if you can make up some ground on these leaders.
Yeah, if you can get 4 or 5 laps on fresh tires, that could be very, very valuable to kind of set these guys back a little bit, have them chasing you for a while after the pit cycle happens.
Yeah, but typically the first person to pit will set off the chain reaction. I think if someone further back here pits, you'll probably see them all start hitting pit road within the next couple laps. So
yeah, I'd say anybody in the top 5, you're absolutely right. Now I don't know if you've got someone back in 8th, 9th, 7th maybe comes down, the leaders may go ahead and stay out and stay with their schedule. But anybody inside that top 5 comes down, yeah, you're right. I think everybody starts to come down immediately.
Yeah, I think if I was James Nelson, I would short pit here, try to come within the next 10 laps and take those tires and see what you can do with them.
Well, we're going to keep an eye on it here, folks, see what happens. We'll be sure to catch every bit of it so you don't miss a thing here. Be sure and hit that thumbs up button for us. Best thing you can do for free. Subscribe to the channel here on SimWorld Racing Network, as we have racing here 3 nights a week when all leagues are running. Do have off weeks for the Truck Series a little more often than we do the AARL Truck Series that runs on Sunday nights. But then we have All-American Racing League Cup Series on Tuesday nights, and you have the Quick Finishers Racing League, which you're watching right now every Friday night here on the SimWorld Racing Network. We appreciate you watching, Thanks for stopping in. Hop in the chat. Let us know who you're rooting for here tonight, as we are getting closer to the playoffs. You know, these guys, they finally got their schedule aligned with NASCAR, since NASCAR has been off for the Olympics break there. These guys have finally kind of matched up with it, getting their Richmond run on a Friday. Tomorrow night, you'll be watching the Truck Series NASCAR guys run in real life there, and on Sunday night, you'll watch them run in the Cup Series at Richmond. So should be a bunch of fun, but this is the best racing you're going to see on Friday night right here at the Quick Finishers Racing League. Tommy Osborne trying to get around the lap car of Michael Bovair. Bovair still hanging on to that lucky dog position for now.
Yeah, and NASCAR being off for the Olympic break, kind of put a damper on motorsports for a little bit. They're typically not off for a couple weeks back to back. So you got NASCAR coming back, you got football coming back. Yeah, it's a good time of year.
Absolutely. Everybody loves soccer.
That's the wrong kind of football.
Oh. Okay.
Foosball. It's foosball.
Foosball. Everybody loves foosball. Except for Mama. Mama don't love foosball. Foosball's the devil.
Yeah, so Michael Kerjelak now out to 2.5 lead now over Curtis Sovereign. So stretching that, a little bit more than he did in stage 1. James Nelson starting to fight the handling of his car back there in third. He's about 4 seconds behind our leader, Tommy Osborne. Tommy Osborne's kind of been just kind of steady here all night long, running in that top 5. He started, I believe he started in the 9th position. So, all night he's been right there, 5th, 4th, just nice, steady, consistent. So, a good run for Tommy Osborne so far.
Yeah, Dave, we're in that window now you were talking about for this 75 to try to take advantage of short pitting these guys. Maybe the one would try something like that as well.
Michael Boone is in.
Michael Boone down. Now, Boone did come down from the, what was it?
I think he was in the 5th position.
Yeah, Boone on pit road to get service. Let's see if that causes any of these other drivers to start looking. As the 19 stays out, 54 stays out, 75 going to stay out, the 1 stays out.
Yeah, now if the leaders stay out here for 5 to 10 more laps, it's going to pay dividends here for Michael Boone. Looks like Michael Bovair is in as well.
Bovair coming down. Now, Bovair is currently a lap down. He'll go another lap or 2 down here by making that pit stop now. But after everything cycles through, should be in good shape.
I believe you go down, I'll have to look at that, possibly 2 laps here by pitting on the green. I'm not sure. We'll have to look at the rundown.
Well, it looks like the 5 of Boone went 1 lap, almost 2. He's still out in front of the 19, but he pitted from the 5th position. Now we have James Nelson on pit road. 75 going to short pit these leaders just a little bit here. Seeing the 75 down, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Michael Kerjelak come on down this time by, but we'll follow him here. He does not, staying on track. He's got some lap traffic to contend with as he's caught the back of the field. He's trying to work his way around the 85. Oh, as we see Bovair all kind of sideways drifting around the track.
Ooh, still sideways in front of our leader.
In front of our leader. That's going to be, that's going to really not be very good as the 19 is split in the middle of 2 lapped cars now. Ay. If I'm the leader, I'm getting the hell off the track. I mean, I'm just doing it. So Tyler Nelson now in the lucky dog position, being the first car 1 lap down. Has not pitted yet. Tyrone Yo now coming down pit road to get his service.
Yeah, right now, Michael Boone with the 4 Fresh tires running almost 0.6 of a second. More than that. 0.6 quicker than our leader.
Yeah, we're going to see
Almost
where he
second.
shakes out. But as Bovair is, again,
sliding
Oh,
those
he's
tires.
going to spin into the wall. That might bring out a yellow.
As I see debris going across the track, but he is off track currently.
He is off the racing surface.
We're going to go back and see if we can find that replay. I don't want to miss any of the on-track action as he gets going again. Yeah, Bovair just kind of loses the rear of that car, trying to get a feel for it with that new steering wheel. Makes it a little harder, and he just, really hard this time, unable to keep it out. But because he was off track, it stays green. Unfortunate break there for Bovair with it staying green, but Tommy Osborne's in.
Yeah, Tommy Osborne's in. Michael Bovair's back in, obviously, after his spin.
Kergelak's being run down now by this 54. The 19 got into a bunch of that traffic there, having to avoid some spinning cars, some craziness. Now the 19's coming down. 54 of Sovereign staying out. Your leader, Michael Kergelak, on pit road.
I'm going to keep an eye on Michael Boone, see where he shuffles in here. So he's going to come back around now to get his lap back. As Kurds is slowly getting to his box. Boone goes around. Boone may be able to come back and take this lead. We'll have to keep an eye on
James Nelson's already been down pit road, and he's still almost 5 seconds ahead of Michael Boone.
Oh, that's right. James Nelson. I forgot about the 75. Sneaky 75.
Sneaky 75 as...
It looks like James Nelson...
Yeah, he may come out... If not the
leader,
leader,
he's going to come out as your leader once Curtis makes his stop. I believe.
Yeah, James Nelson is ahead of Kergelak now, and actually he's holding about 4 seconds over Michael Kergelak by just stopping on lap. Let's see, he put it on lap 90, 6 laps before Michael Kergelak came down. So this is going to be a bad move for Sovereign as well, being out as long as he is. Again, he's going to have fresh tires at the end of the run. We'll just have to see if he can make up, because currently right now at lap 100, he's got 38 laps to the next break.
See, Curtis Sovereign's still choosing to stay on track.
Okay, so Michael Kergelak is the fastest car on track. Just ran the fastest lap of the race at a 22.70. That's 3/10 quicker than James Nelson, who is now only 3 seconds ahead of him. So looks like Kurt's going to be able to make this time up in rapid pace if he can continue to run at that. Now, that's fresh tires. You're going to, 10 laps of doing that, you're not going to have fresh tires anymore. So we'll have to see. As this time by, he was a little over 2/10 quicker than Nelson. Sovereign still on track. Tyrone Yo right at his back bumper as Yo trying to get a lap back.
Yeah, I think this is going to pay off big for James Nelson, who's sitting there in that third position. I think that that short pit, I think as while they were so spaced out, I think that played into Nelson's favor better than most everyone else that pitted around the same time.
Yeah, Michael Boone currently in the 4th spot, but I do believe he'll overtake. He may overtake Curtis Sovereign, as he is definitely lapping the track a little bit. Well, actually, he had a little bit of trouble last time by. I ran 23.79 to Sovereign's 23.91. Again, Sovereign's got to come down pit road here. Got to be incident free. You can't slide through your box here on a green flag stop. You can't speed. Lord, you can't speed. As we see, Tyler Nelson was down. It looks like he maybe did speed. Was held for 40 seconds there for his pit stop.
Curtis is coming now.
Sovereign is in, making that slow trek down pit road. So we will have a new leader.
James Nelson goes by to get back on the lead lap. Along with Kergelak, Osborne now going by, Boone going by.
Yeah, these guys are going to come back around again. That's going to put them... Is he back on the lead lap? Nelson may take the lead right here.
Yeah, Nelson's going to take the lead here over Curtis. Curtis
out.
Is just now coming out.
Yep, new leader, James Nelson. Now, Sovereign didn't lose a whole heck of a lot right there. Honestly, got out ahead of Kergelak. Kergelak gaining on him rather quickly here. But Sovereign's going to have that fresh tire love here for the first couple of laps.
Yeah, so this may have played out just about right for Curtis Auburn. I thought it was really going to hurt him, but come back out running second with fresh tires. He should be able to run down on James Nelson here. As Kerjelak's looking to his outside down the backstretch.
Yeah, Dave, I thought it was going to hurt him too, but yeah, I mean, he's taking it easy this first couple laps to get the rubbers back under him again, but should really start clicking off some quick lap times here. Last time by, Nelson ran a 74 to Kerjelak's 70 and Sauburn's 78. Osborne ran a 82, so these guys are like, on lap times they're under a blanket. James Nelson just enjoying just a little over a second over second place Michael Kerjelak in that 19, who's led who won stage 1 and led a lot of laps here. Gave them up when he came to pit road for this pit cycle. Oh, the 75 really loose, almost hit the wall. I think that's what made him loose, is trying to pull off to make sure he didn't hit the wall. Could have been a tight condition, pulls off the wall there, loses almost a half a second by doing that, though. Michael Kerjelak closing in.
Oh, Curtis Auburn did not take tires. Looks like it was fuel only or maybe just rights. I'm looking at that time difference saying, wow.
That explains the distance, and it also explains why he didn't fire off very quick here. And he continues to lose time to the leaders. So this is your battle for the lead here between James Nelson in the auto serve number 75 and the butt kicker Moza number 19 of Michael Kerjelak. Kerjelak now closing in right to the back bumper of the 75. Going to try to work a little bit higher line through 3 and 4 here. Is going to get the run off the corner. 75 going to be able to block that. Now the 19 looks to the inside. Nope, can't make it happen yet. As they head off down into 1. I honestly expected this to pay off a little better for Michael Boone, but currently in the 5th spot, some 8 seconds behind this lead battle. Lap 112 of 240 here, 112 of 138 here in the second stage. So this stage quickly coming to an end. Michael Kerjelak wanting to get another stage win, kind of gain some more of those valuable playoff points. Looking to the outside of the 75. 75 has the preferred line way down there on the bottom, but 75 or 18 going to carry a lot of steam down the backstretch. Closes in on the 75.
Yeah, the past few laps look like James Nelson really running the bottom, taking an early entry to the bottom, taking away that kind of low entry from Kerjelak, kind of forcing him to try to get up there on the high side or he's been trying to get a run here the last few laps from the high side off of turn 2. Just hasn't been able to make it stick.
This time the 19 goes just about a half a lane lower than the 19 on entry, or the 75 on entry. Didn't really pay off as the 75 able to maintain about a car length and a half over that 19 machine. And James Bowden, last car on the lead lap. Tyler Nelson, first car 1 lap down. Tyler Nelson really wanting that caution flag to go ahead and wave here, but still got a little ways to go in the stage. Needs to make sure he stays out ahead. He really needs to hope that 53 can stay out ahead of the 75, but they're catching the 53 in rather quick fashion here. As the battle continues on between the 75 of Nelson and the 19 of Kerjelak. Kerd's looking to the outside, gets a really good run down the backstretch.
I was going to say, look for this run as James Nelson kind of cut him off there as he was just trying to take a peek. I think that's Kerjelak's best chance to get that run up on the high side and try to get to his inside early going down the backstretch. He's going to try it again right here.
Nelson wouldn't block anybody. What are you talking about? Oh, see the 19 gets a really good run to the back. Now looking high once again. He may have to lay a little bumper to that 75. That 75 can make that car pretty wide. Definitely a hard blocker there. Kurt's now looking
I
to
think
the outside
Kurt
again.
he's kept it a little closer here.
Side by side, heading down the backstretch into
It's gonna be
3.
Kurtulak's best shot if he can keep the momentum on the high side.
Yeah, he stayed right on the
Door.
quarter. He stayed right on the quarter that time. That lap goes to the 19. Score the 19 is the leader for that lap. 75 still trying to hang on the inside there.
So that's going to give Kurtulak. Let's see if he can clear off a 2.
And he
He
does.
does.
Move Tommy Osborne to the 3rd position. He's gotten around Curtis Sauburn. I see something going on with Nelson there. It looked like he was kind of shaking that thing back and forth. Maybe that was just an optic, but nonetheless, Tommy Osborne holding down that 3rd spot. Curtis Sauburn 4th. Michael Boone in the 5th position with Tyrone Yo 6th. James Bowden 7th. Last car on the lead lap. Tyler Nelson, your first car 1 lap down in 8th, with Michael Bovair a couple laps down in the 9th position after having a little trouble there exiting the corner and smacking the inside wall, which did not bring out a caution. And then we know Smokey Robinson had some wheel issues with his steering wheel. His steering box having some issues there. So he's had to retire early from the event. So James Bowden able to get around Tyrone Yo to take over the 6th spot. Michael Kurtulak starting to pull away now from the 75. Waiting a little later again. I was kind of against that myself, Dave, but it worked out for a while for Nelson. I mean, it definitely netted him at least 1 position, because he was kind of mired back in 3rd, could never really catch Curtis Sauburn, but then through the pit cycle there was able to short pit and gained at least that 1 spot. He gained more than that for the short term, but over the length of the run, he may have picked up quite a bit. Although Tommy Osborne is not that far behind him with a little bit fresher tires.
Yeah, Kurtulak now is starting to catch the Tyrone Yo and James Bowden, as Kurtulak is now just about 2 car lengths off of Tyrone Yo, trying to put Tyrone down a lap. Do that, he'll go after James Bowden and try to put a lap on James as well.
Yeah, that's not good news if you're Tyler Nelson. He's waiting to get a lap back. He's going to no longer be the lucky dog as the 19 works to the outside of Tyrone Yo. Does put Tyrone down 1 lap. And now Kurtulak sets his sights on James Bowden, as you mentioned.
Yeah, closing in on, let's see, about 10 laps to go, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, 11 laps. That's my mathing.
In stage 2, so I think Kurtulak should be able to catch the back of James Bowden, possibly. That would be bad news for Tyrone Yo.
Yeah, it's too hard to do a wave around here with this many laps on your tires to have any type of benefit whatsoever. I mean, it would just be a temporary gain to get your lap back, and then you go out there on old tires by doing the wave around. You wouldn't stay on the lead lap very long after that, and then you'd have to pit possibly under the green flag, which could ultimately ruin your night. And this last stage is going to be, close to 100 laps to run it on out to the end. By the time it goes green, it'll be just less than 100 laps. So, yeah, you pretty much have to pit. Right here, Bowden just needs to try his best to stay on that lead lap. Now, if he gets past here, it's pretty safe that he would get the lucky dog as long as he could stay ahead of Tyrone Yo. He's currently 3.2 seconds ahead of Yo, but you really don't want to have to be the guy to get the lucky dog, because that does require you to start at the tail of the field, which with only 9 cars left on track, maybe not too big a deal, but at the same time, you'd rather stay on that lead lap if at all possible.
Yeah, so Kerjelak now stretching his lead to about 4 seconds over James Nelson. James Nelson under attack here by Tommy Osborne, who's now close to within a car length off the back of Nelson.
Yeah, the battle continues on for that second position. You know, if you can get that second position here, not only are you getting those bonus points, but you're gonna, possibly have a good pit stop. You can start on the outside row, or outside of row 1 there beside the leader, and get a chance to kind of control this thing early on.
Yeah, Tommy's definitely a little bit quicker here than the 75, but as we spoke earlier, 75 is hard to get by. He's like the Ryan Newman of this league, but Tommy's going to get a good run on the outside of Nelson.
Oh,
Nelson locks him up.
That's
Tommy Osborne up to second. Good run here for Tommy, up 7 positions.
Yeah, biggest mover of the race, the number 1 Night Owl So's machine of Tommy Osborne. Night Owl So's, check him out on Facebook.com/Night Owl So's. Tyrone Yo washes up the track there just a bit. Michael Kerjelak holds on to a 4-second lead over Tommy Osborne at the moment, as we're coming down to just a couple laps left here in the stage. It was a battle back here. Michael Boone has run down Curtis Sauburn for that 4th spot. Again, Boone would like to go ahead and get that position, as it would put him in a better spot for the restart, starting on second row as opposed to row 3 there. Again, things can happen in pit boxes and whatnot under this caution flag when it comes out, but 5 draws right to the back of the 54.
So we've now got 1 to go in the stage, I believe. Well, not 2 to go, sorry.
Dave trying to finish this thing before it finishes, guys.
I don't know. I keep seeing the laps change. I'm confused.
Okay, lap 138. Here we go. The end of this lap should do it.
See, I was right.
As Michael Kerjelak comes down and into turn 3, going to work his way around to capitalize and sweep stages 1 and 2 here in the Richmond, north of Richmond 240 for the Quick Finishers Racing League. Your stage 2 winner, stage 1 and stage 2 winner, Michael Kerjelak. Second place is Tommy Osborne in that number 1 Night Owl So's Chevrolet. James Nelson finishes in the 3rd position. Curtis Sauburn will stay ahead of Michael Boone to finish 4th, with Michael Boone 5th, James Bowden 6th. Tyrone Yo finishing in the 7th position and will be the lucky dog recipient here. Going to get his lap back. Tyler Nelson 1 lap down in 8th. Michael Bovair a couple laps down in the 9th position. And Smokey Robinson in 10th, but unfortunately out of the event due to mechanical issues in the real world.
While these drivers get ready to take a break, I will take a break and be back in just a few.
All right. I'll wait for you to get back before I take a break. So there we have it. All right, as we see all these drivers going to come down pit road for not their final stop, because, again, they can't run the full 100 laps of the last stage. But, nonetheless, we should see 4 tires for all these drivers. I know Curtis Sauburn, definitely a driver wanting to get some tires on that machine. As we mentioned, he took maybe fuel-only, possibly right-side tires on that last stop, and it did not pay off for him. However, able to hold on to that 4th spot to the stage end. We see your leader, Michael Kerjelak. He hits his pit box, no problems there. Right sides up on that machine. Curtis Sauburn coming down to take his spot. Pulls into his box. Has to back it up. It's going to cost him a little bit of time as the 19 gets away. 75 is away. The 1 is away. So 75 looks like he's going to gain a spot there. James Nelson did on pit road. Tommy Osborne going to fall back 1 spot. Tyrone Yo is still on track, but he'll get to come down pit road. He was your lucky dog, so he's going to have to go ahead and come down now to get his service done. A lap behind everyone else. James Bowden
is down. I think he must have missed the pit road the first time. So he's coming down to get his service. Out of sequence, but your leader is Michael Kurgelak, followed by James Nelson. Tommy Osborne to be third with Curtis Auburn in fourth. Fifth will be Tyrone Yo, I believe, or Michael Boone. Yeah, Michael Boone's going to get out there in fifth spot. Tyrone Yo's going to have to start at the tail end of the longest line, so he'll start back what will look like ninth position, but he will be in the seventh spot as the last car on the lead lap. James Nelson, kind of the big winner there, gaining one spot on pit road over the one of Tommy Osborne. And it really didn't hurt Auburn too bad. I thought maybe sliding through his pit box there was going to cost him a few positions, but it really didn't. He come out in the fourth spot. Michael Boone had a little trouble with his pit stop, or maybe got some damage fixed as he had a 27-second stop there. Quite long for that stop. Tommy Osborne's stop was 16.68. The reason maybe a little too far up in his box. That does matter. Your positioning in the box does matter, as the pit crew has to go around the front and the back of these vehicles. And if you're too far forward or too far back, but still within your pit box range, these drives still takes the team a little longer to get your stop finished, as James Nelson got out with a 14.95, the reason for those two guys swapping positions on track.
And I'm back like I never left.
Yes, sir. I'm going to leave you with Michael Kurgelak, your leader for this restart. Dave, I'm going to step away for just a second, and I will try to hurry myself right back on in here.
So lights are out on the pace car. It's going to duck on off right here as they get towards the pit road entrance. Michael Kurgelak will lead them down into the Geico restart zone. And he is off. A little bit of a bobble from on the outside lane. Looks like Kurgelak's going to try to take that lead and try to get away as quick as possible as he heads down to 1 and 2. Michael Boone up against the wall a little bit further back. James Nelson, as we know, can get pretty aggressive here, especially in the early going with the fresh tires. Going to see if he can try to close on the 19 and try to get the lead and run away here for a little bit as he closes right to the back bumper of the 19. Down into 3 and 4, still about a car length or half a car length separates the 19 and the 75. Curtis Auburn dropping back just a little bit from this battle for the lead. James Nelson trying to run that high side, gets a good run off of turn number 2 down into turn number 3, gets right to the back bumper. Oh, the 19 wiggled just a little bit on entry. James Nelson pushing hard here in the early going of the final stage. We run this out from here to the end, the lap 240. Once again, another good one. He's going to take a look to the inside down in turn 3. Can't quite get there. See if the 19 can get a good run off, and he does off of turn number 4 down through into turn number 1. James Nelson using that outside lane, similar to what the 19 did earlier on, to get around him. So I think James maybe learned a little bit there early on with Kurgelak and how he was running. Now Nelson's going to take a peek to the inside in turn number 1. It's going to force Kurgelak up the hill, door to door, off of turn number 2. 75 gets a little loose, has to fall back in. Still going to make a run down here into turn 3, into turn 4. Good battle here for the lead, still side by side. Kurgelak gets a good run off of the top. Going to clear him by about a car length. He now gets back to the inside, not allowing that 75 to take a peek. Once again, James Nelson to the back bumper of the 19. Looks like they may have sorted out. I think 75. See if he takes a look, and he does. He can try to get to the inside, door to door, wheel to wheel once again, down through turns 1 and 2. Kerjelak, can he make it stick? And he does. A little bit of wiggle off of turn number 2 down the back. Still door to door down in turn 3. Really good battle here for the lead. Still side by side down the front stretch. Who will come out on top of this battle as the 19 really making that high side work. Able to stick with the 75. They get real tight, almost contact down in turn 3, still door to door. Wheel to wheel still getting into turn number 1. Kerjelak still running that high side. Nelson stuck to the bottom right on that yellow line. Kerjelak still able to get a really good run off of the corner as it's helping him here a little bit to keep that momentum up on the high side.
And Nelson gonna clear the 19, it looks like, and does so.
Yeah, heck of a battle there for the lead for about 4 or 5 laps. But like I said, Nelson finally comes out on top.
Now Curtis Sauber wanting to try to jump on the 19 while he can here early on. So he was able to get around Tommy Osborne there on the restart. Under 100 laps to go here in the Richmond, north of Richmond 240 for the Quick Finishers Racing League. I'm Hillbilly Dave, and we've got Dave Lafano in the booth calling the action for you all night tonight. Be sure and hit that thumbs up button for us if you can. It's free to do. The best thing you can do for free right here on SimWorld Racing Network. Oh, the 19 drives it in really, really hard. Oh, man, he drove it in deep. I mean, he closed 4 car lengths on the 75 in that one corner, but it did seem to hurt him a little on the exit. Is the 75 able to pull it back out again? Now the 54 working over the back of the 19. 19 definitely driving harder through the corners here. Maybe harder than he has all night, Dave.
Yeah, the 75 missed the entry to turn number 1, had to drift up the track. That allowed the 19 to almost get beside him on the exit.
The first time all night, the 19's kind of been behind and had someone also pressuring him for the next position. So not only is he looking out his windshield at what he has to do in front of him, he's also having to look behind himself to defend that position. That can kind of play on your psyche there a little bit, having to do all that extra work.
Yeah, what I'm kind of seeing out of this 75 all night is he's got speed early in the run, and then the handling just goes away, and he tends to slide further back. So we'll see if Kerjelak can take advantage of that as we get deeper into the final state.
Yeah, as Kurt's now got to the rear quarter, he's now to the outside of the 75. Going to try to use that momentum off the 2, and does so as the 75 gets loose. You saw the smoke, folks, pour off the wheel, and he's going to lose maybe even 2 spots here. As the 54 is on the outside, looks like he's going to possibly complete that pass with momentum here. But now he's got the 85 of younger Nelson right there in front of him. Now they're 3 wide. 54 is cleared now as the 85 goes another lap down. One of Osborne able to clear this 85 into the wall. 2 of Yo is able to get around. Yo, after getting his lap back up into the 5th spot. So Tyrone able to get a handle on that thing on that last pit stop there. Not the last pit stop of the race, though. It's the 75 now looking back to the inside of the 54. Sauber, oh, they almost make contact. Ay, ay, ay. So about another 10 laps, Dave, and they'll be within their window on fuel as the 75 is loose once again off the corner. James Nelson going to possibly lose a spot. Well, doesn't quite lose the spot, but loses a lot of track position to the 1 of Osborne. Osborne holding a steady wheel all night tonight. James Nelson really struggling. Let's see if we can go on his helmet cam, take a look, see what he's doing with shifting. Maybe he's doing something a little bit different than what we were seeing earlier. Not sure, but we're going to take a look here and see what he's doing with this machine or what his hands are doing. I did not see him downshift there, so he's riding 5th gear through 1 and 2. Yeah, the 75 electing not to shift. Now, I don't know if that's because he's been getting loose. He could be doing that because the rears are breaking free. So now he's electing to stay in the 5th gear. I don't know as we're just joining, but yeah, not shifting for the 75. Also notice he takes a really, really early, I think you mentioned it earlier, Dave, a really, really early entry into the corner. Even though he's not, I mean, he's kind of protecting, not really protecting over the one. The one's not close enough to take the position. As we see Sauber, he's still shifting. Having to be very gingerly with that throttle as he uses 4th gear up off of 4. Now just shifts to 5th and then right back to 4th for 1 and 2. But your leader is Michael Kerjlak in the number 19. He pulled out to 1.6 seconds over the 54 of Curtis Sauber, with James Nelson in 3rd, Tommy Osborne 4th, and James Bowden rounding out your top 5. Rode along with Michael Boone there for a second. Notice he is shifting. Then we jump on board with Tyrone Yo. Tyrone Yo is just riding it out in 5th gear like James Nelson's doing there. And we jump on board with Bowden. It looks like Bowden is running 5th gear as well, not shifting, electing to stay in gear 5. Michael Kerjlak putting on a dominant performance here in the Northern Richmond 240, the Richmond Raceway for the Quick Finishers Racing League, sweeping both stages 1 and 2 and leading the way here with 67 laps to go here in the race. They are within their fuel windows. They can run 70 to 75 laps on fuel. No takers yet on a strategy to come down early. I don't know, Dave. We saw it earlier where it kind of paid off for James Nelson when he came down, I think, 6 or 8 laps earlier than everyone else. But then ultimately these guys able to run him back down. You know, do you take a bigger gamble and come down much, much earlier? Would that be beneficial, do you think? Or would you not be able to stretch it out enough for it to really make a difference in the long run?
I don't know. If it's me, I think I'm going to try to hit pit road between lap 190 and 200. I think that's kind of a comfortable range. It's about halfway through. So, once again, I think once somebody pits, if it's in that ballpark, I think you're going to see everyone start to trickle in. And I don't think you'll see Curtis Auburn go as long as he did the last run. That's for sure.
No, and definitely not the. I don't think the 2 tires or the fuel only really paid off for him that last time. So I don't know. I mean, if I'm running back in the 4th position or something, we know it's stayed clean and green thus far in this race. I'm probably considering, as the 85 had some issues there. He just come off pit road, but now is very slow on track. Getting back up through the gears now, getting it going, but almost came to a complete stop. But nonetheless, I'm maybe trying something like coming in way, way early here. I mean, like now, just to see if I can make something happen. instead of having 8 or 9 laps out there with fresher tires, have 20 laps out there with little fresher tires.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility for someone further back in the pack, maybe like a Michael Boone, Tyrone Yo, or even James Bowden. Maybe take the chance there and see how it plays out. But I just feel like tires mean a lot here. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
I mean, lap times now are about 0.7 of a second off of the fast times that they were running. So you could literally pick up a 0.7 advantage, at least for a while. And then as it trickles down, it might get down to 0.3 or 0.2. But if you're doing that over a period of 15 to 20 laps, you're going to gain a heck of a lot of time over everyone else that they're going to have to make up on the other end of it. So it's kind of a, I don't know, it's just a shot at it. If you don't, you're not going to have a shot to win from, say, 6th or 7th, 5th at this point with it stretched out the way it is.
Yeah, you know what I just thought? Maybe these drivers should listen to us while they're racing. We could give them all sorts of tips.
Michael Boone is in. Boone was the first
Michael Boone
in the
was
last
listening.
time. Yeah, Michael Boone was listening. He was the first in the last time as well. And it did help him early on.
And Boone, if it doesn't work, you can blame Hillbilly for the strategy call. He said, "Come now."
Yeah, I mean that's kind of that's what I would do, man. And Boone carrying that SWRN sponsor on the back of it, we appreciate that, Boone. That's we appreciate you having that on the car. But yeah, I mean I like the strategy. You gotta do something, right? Do something different.
Yeah, you gotta try something. Like I said, those drivers further back, like a Tyrone, Michael Boone, Bowden, I think it's worth taking that risk, right? It's worth coming down and try something different. You have nothing to lose. You're gonna finish. If you don't try it, you're gonna finish where you are. So
unfortunately for Boone, Unfortunately for Boone, he did have a little bit slower pit stop of 18 seconds. I believe he may have got a little bit of damage corrected while he was there, as I did see him sit after the left side's dropped. But so yeah, it was about an 18-second pit stop, so quite a bit slower than he probably would have wanted. But out there on those fresher tires, nonetheless, it's going to have the feel goods under him for a while here with less than 60 laps to go, coming to 55. Side-by-side battle for the third position as the one of Osborne trying to work his way around James Nelson. Looks like he's going to get James cleared as they head down into one. James going to try to battle back on the outside, can't get it done. Move Osborne to third spot.
Yeah, now Michael Boone with the fresher tires looking to try to get around James Nelson. Try to get back to the front, get a lap back. As we're still waiting for the rest of these drivers to hit pit road. I would assume in the next, maybe 10, maybe 15 laps here, I bet you'll start seeing most of these drivers pit.
Yeah, Boone's got a good bit of damage to the front of the nose of that car. Both the right and the left side quarters of that car are banged up pretty good. I don't think it's going to hurt you too much here at a short track, but as we said, he did get a little bit of that damage straightened up while he was on pit road there under the green flag. We'll see what he's able to do. As he's running, wow, he got loose there, and the 75 goes back around.
Kurgelak into the wall. I'm going to turn number 4. Going to lose a little bit of time here to Curtis Auburn. Went from 1.4 seconds down to 1.2.
He quickly gains it back, though, Dave. Back to 1.4 now. It's like he just stepped back on the throttle and took off again.
So he's toying with him. That's what you're saying.
I mean, I didn't say it. I'm kind of saying it without saying it. But, yeah, I mean, it's what it appeared to be.
Herds, if you're listening, you toyed with him, swerve once to the left. How's that?
Right. Oh, there he goes. Swerving to the left. Oh, wait a minute. As a left-hand turn.
Yeah, Curtis Auburn down to just over a second now. So, Kurgelak lost a little bit of pace somewhere.
May have been that scrape on the wall, but I really didn't see any damage to the right side of that vehicle there when it showed it just a second ago. Yeah, not seeing any damage to the nose of the car at all. It looks rather clean there. So we see the one of Tommy Osborne really starting to gain on this 54 to try to take that second spot away. Osborne's tires coming in here late in the run. Got a really good long run car. Starting to gain on this 54 here.
Kerjelak in the wall again off of turn number 4. I don't know if the handling's just gone away to the point he's really struggling off the corner.
I think Dave's smoking that wacky weed because I didn't see it. Of course, I just tuned away from him, so...
He is now down under half a second back to Curtis Auburn.
Yeah, proof is in the timing, folks. Proof is in the timing. No BS from Rafano there. He was actually telling the truth. I just missed it on camera again. James Nelson is on pit road along with Tyrone Yo. Both these drivers coming down.
Kerjelak, Auburn, I think you got to come next time by. I think that's what I would do. Come down. Don't let those drivers get a big advantage over you.
Yeah, because Nelson being on pit road, he definitely gained a huge advantage last time. As the battle is on for second spot, first, second, and third. They're right there under a blanket together. Oh, Kerjelak slows up. The rotor is glowing on the 54 as he is trying to keep from running him over.
Yeah, Kerjelak really struggling right here late in this run.
One got really loose off the through that turn there after that exchange, allowing the 5 to get around him. The 5's on a little bit fresher tires, as we said, quite a bit fresher tires. Pitting on lap 1, missed it. Tommy Osborne is in.
Osborne's in. That's the right call right there. I think Kerjelak and Auburn, you got to come soon.
Yeah, as we're coming down, we got 45 laps to go here. The 1 is on pit road. If you'll see if we can get in his box smoothly this time.
All right, looks like, let's see, Kerjelak's coming to pit road, Curtis Auburn, so they are both coming this time.
Right side's up on the 1. Osborne with another lengthy stop, 15.8 seconds. Michael Kerjelak and the 54 of Curtis Auburn on their way down. James Bowden is your leader. He's still on track. Last pitting on lap 141. 54 gets in cleanly this time.
See if Kerjelak and Auburn can stay out in front of James Nelson. Nelson working his way through 3 and 4 now. Kerjelak there off pit road. They should be able. It's going to be close. They can keep Nelson behind them. That's going to be a big advantage for them.
Yeah, they're going to. It looks like they're going to be fine there. Actually, they gapped him a bit. Don't know if the 75 maybe had some trouble getting back through field there, as James Bowden is now on pit road. He's got his service done and is away. Curtis Auburn losing a little bit of time to Kerjelak. That will be the last pit stop, folks, providing there's no cautions. And there has been none thus far other than the stage breaks.
Yeah, if I'm Kerjelak right now, I'm looking at that gap. You got to maintain that gap. Don't push too hard. If you got to let Auburn come back to you a little bit, you still got about 40 laps to go. So a long ways to go to get to the end. You don't want a situation like before those pit stops where Kerjelak was really struggling. He's worn those tires out. So save what you can here for a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately for Osborne, he's fallen back to the 4th position, now battling for 3rd with James Nelson. He does have a couple lap fresher tires than Nelson. Nelson pitted a little blah. That's easy for me to say. Pitted on lap 191, Osborne on 194, and then Kerjelak and Auburn out front pitted 195. But the 1 has a lot of speed here, but he's got some distance to make up as he's 4.2 seconds behind the leader. Now, when the pit stop occurred, he had just slipped, but was right there behind the leaders when he slipped and decided to go ahead and bring it on down pit road. Michael Boone is in again. Not sure what happened to Boone that brought him back down pit road. But he is back down again. That's going to be an unfortunate break for Michael Boone. having to take an additional stop here. The battle right now is going to be between the 19 and the 54, currently separated by about 0.7 of a second, 8 or 10 car lengths here on track. We'll see who can manage their tires best here late in the running of the Richmond, North of Richmond 240 for the Quick Finishers Racing League. This is the SimWorld Racing Network. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and share again. And you can like it again if you want to. I don't think it does anything, but it might unlike it, so let's not do that. But anyway, thank you for watching. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know who you're rooting for, or just say hi. Dave will respond to you as he's paying attention to that kind of stuff, I hope.
I always do.
I know you do.
I get a little lonely at times when no one wants to talk to me, but I still pay attention.
Dave, I've been talking to you all night long.
This is true. This is true. Right now, these two drivers, Kerjelak, Sauber, running pretty much identical times. That time by Sauber was just a tick quicker than Kerjelak.
And Osborne, able to get around Nelson there, is running identical times with the leaders. Ran a 22.85. So we'll see if Osborne, who's had the long run speed, he may be able to run these guys down and give them the what for here late in the going, Dave.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He seemed to be better on the long run. So as these leaders start to wear out their tires, maybe Osborne can keep on trucking towards the front and catch these guys.
Yeah, and especially if Sauber keeps the pressure up on Kerjelak there a bit, starts making him run harder than he wants to. I mean, obviously, when you're chasing a guy, it tends to make you want to run harder anyway. So if Sauber's pushing and gets the 19 pushing a little bit, that could open the door for Tommy Osborne to sneak a win in here.
Currently, Osborne's got about 5 seconds to make up on these two drivers.
Yeah, that he does. That's quite a gap to overcome. But we've seen him do it all night. In every stage, Dave, he just seemed to, towards the end of the run, really started to pour on the speed. When other guys were losing speed, his car seemed to kind of to pick up its pep and just really get going. So I'm really curious to see. Nonetheless, we're going to talk to all three drivers here at the end of the event. So stick around for the interviews. The top three finishers of tonight's race, whomever they may be, will be interviewed at the end of the event, so you're not going to want to miss that.
It looks like, unfortunately, Michael Boone has disconnected as well, so we started with 10, we're down to 7. But
Yeah,
it's been all about Michael Kerjelak tonight.
Absolutely has been, Dave. Kurd's really putting on a clinic here tonight. Now, it's Friday night, Sunday night. I believe the Truck Series is off again this week. Let me check that. Revised schedule round of 10. Looks like, yes, they will return at Bristol on the 25th of August. The second race of the round of 10 be on 8/25. That's Sunday, 8/25. So we're going to have an off week or two here coming up. And then, but coming next Tuesday, the All-American Racing League Cup Series moves on to the Darlington Raceway for the final race of the regular season. At the end of that, we will have our playoff drivers set in stone for the playoffs. So that'll be an exciting night. Nathan Christensen will be in the booth bringing every lap to you for SimWorld Racing Network. So be sure to tune in on Tuesday night. And next Friday night, here in the Quick Finishers Racing League, we are off to... Sometimes I talk faster than what my brain can compute to click, but I'm going to have that for you in just a second here. Yes, we're off to Michigan. So on 8/16, that's next Friday night, be at Michigan. Always a good time at Michigan, wide sweeping track. A lot of passing, a lot of racing, a little bit of drafting goes on there as well. So it should be a good and exciting race there. Hopefully we'll have a little bit bigger field, which I'm sure we will. Folks, just summertime, folks have some things to do. that they got to get done here. So it tends to dwindle down just a little bit here and there, but we should see a lot of those drivers back for next Friday's race. Your leader by 0.8 of a second is Michael Kurgelak in that number 19 Ford, leading Curtis Sauber by now 0.8 of a second. And then back about 5.6 seconds, 5.7 off your leader is the number 1 of Tommy Osborne in that Night Also Chevrolet. James Nelson is about 3 seconds behind him in the 4th position, with James Bowden running 5th and Tyrone Yo rounding out your top 6 lead lap cars. And cars on track. The 85 is still out there now. The 85 did gain some positions over Michael Boone and Michael Bovair once they exited the race. So by staying out there, even being a lap or so down, maybe 2 laps down, Tyler Nelson able to gain a few spots here, and 5 laps down puts himself in the 7th position. So that's why you run these things to the end, folks. You never know. We got 24 laps to go here in the Quick Finishers Racing League Cup Series for the Richmond, north of Richmond 240. We do appreciate you tuning in to watch Michael Kurgelak put on a clinic here tonight. But it is far from over. 23 laps to go and far from over.
Kurgelak smacked the wall again.
As soon as I tune away from him, I'm telling you. That's gonna allow us to Curtis Auburn now within 1 second of our leader. You're eventually gonna break that thing if you keep smacking the wall, though, Kurds. If you're listening, buddy, keep it off the wall. You've done a hell of a job tonight. Let's bring it home if you're gonna bring it home. And there's no bias from up here, folks.
Maybe there's someone in the chat, maybe Robinson, if he's still in here, and can correct me, but I believe Michael Kurgelak has never won a race here with QFRL. Correct me if I'm wrong, and let me know if anyone knows. Not sure if this is him racing for his first win ever here in QFRL or just his first win of the season.
Well, I'm going to try to pull up and see. So does he have a win on the season yet?
I believe he does not.
He does not have a win on the season yet. Now, James Nelson is your points leader, who also does not have a win on the season. So consistency really, really matters. But,
Kurgelak with a big push off of turn number 2.
Yeah, with 20 laps to go, really giving this thing all it's got, trying to get that first win here in the series, or at least, like you say, on the season. We'll be sure to ask him if he's up here in the top 3 for an interview. We'll ask him if this is, if this would have been his first. That's a bad way to put it, I guess. But yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out and let you guys know next week if we don't find out tonight.
Regardless, we're under 20 laps to go. If you Kurgelak, just take a breath and focus on hitting your line consistently here. Nice, smooth laps. He sees Curtis Auburn getting smaller in that rearview mirror, so consistency here and try to get to the end.
Yeah, Dave, I don't know if he's getting smaller. I think he's getting larger. It's down to a half a second now between Michael Kurgelak. They're both in the same frame.
I meant larger. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought I was missing something again. I was checking to see if I was live. Yeah, Sauburn has closed it in just a bit, down to now 3/10 of a second.
Kurgelak got loose that time off of turn number 2.
Now down to 2 car lengths for the lead here. Curtis Sauburn now, he comes into this race, I believe, with a couple of wins on the season already. Yeah, Curtis Sauburn comes in with 1 win on the season. And now is going to try to go for some. But you see the rotors just glowing on this 54. He is driving it for everything it's worth. As the 85 is up, staying out of the way, letting these guys battle it out. Doesn't want to impact the outcome of this race with 15 laps to go here. The battle is on for the win.
Kurgelak just can't get off of turn number 2 right now. Struggling each and every time he comes off through turn number 2. Either he's pushing or he's tight, loose.
So we have the drone
There's a-
flying out in front of our leaders as we see them nose to tail heading down the backstretch and off into 3. Now the 54 trying to look to the outside, trying to generate some kind of run out here on the outside. Does he get to the rear quarter? He does. Now going to use that momentum to carry down towards turn 1 as they're side-by-side, door-to-door as they head down into 1. Curtis Sauber on the outside. Looks like he's going to get clear, possibly clear. No, can't get it done. Hits the wall.
Oh.
Side-by-side, door-to-door action down the backstretch and into 3.
Yeah, Kerjelak's car really pushing up the racetrack. You see him really have to use a lot of brake, especially down here in turns 1 and 2. Just slowing him down so much where the 54 can kind of keep it going here. Good corner for Kerjelak that time.
They're coming up on a lap car, Dave. It's like the Tyrone Yo machine. Our leaders are...
Oh, contact.
Kurtz slips up and into the 54, does manage to pull it off of him, but your new leader is Curtis Sauber in the 54 Toyota. As we're going to be coming to 10 laps to go this time by. This may be the fastest race in the history of the Quick Finishers Racing League here, as it's almost a quarter till. Really getting it done early. Now Curtis Sauber out to 4/10, maybe 5/10, pulling out to a half second over Michael Kerjelak.
See if Kerjelak can kind of
hits the wall
regroup.
again. I think the frustration mounting in the 19 machine.
Like he's going to go up. Oh, almost smacks the wall again off of turn number 4. That car just not handling to his liking right at the moment.
So he's trying to work now around the 2 of Tyrone Yo. Tyrone going to get out of that and let him on by, not really trying to affect, again, the outcome of the race any at all. You don't want to be that guy ever. So we ride on board with Michael Kerjelak as he's trying to chase down the 54 after dominating stage 1, dominating stage 2, really dominating this final stage. Has now given up the lead to Curtis Sauber here with only 8 laps to go, coming to 7 to go at the line here for Curtis Sauber, just ahead of this 19 machine. Can you hear the dread in my voice, folks? I feel really sorry for Curtis. He gets into the wall
Kurt's
once
back
again.
in the wall.
You can see how hard it is to drive these cars, folks, to get those wins. They're elusive, so difficult to win at this level of racing. And Curtis Sauber making it look easy now that he's made the pass out there in the clean air. There's no one in front of him for almost half a track, or actually over half a track now. Just trying to set sail and pull away from the 19 of Kerjelak.
Yeah, Kerjelak now falling over about a second and a half behind Curtis Sauber. Just complete heartbreak here in the late going for Michael Kerjelak, who dominated this race.
Yeah.
Just car went away from him here in the late stages. Nothing really he could do.
Yeah, we mentioned Tommy Osborne being faster on the long run. I mean, he's cut down over, about 2 seconds of what the leaders had on him. So he definitely still had a very fast long run car. Unfortunately, just too far back with a little bit slower pit stops a couple of times there, just miring him back in the pack. But for this 54 of Curtis Sauber, getting it done here now, 2 seconds ahead of Michael Kerjelak here with 3 laps to go in the Richmond, north of Richmond 240. Barring no mistake, he's pretty clear sailing here for this 54 machine. And again, like you said, heartbreak for the 19.
I mean, Kerjelak has really... that car fell off really quick where now with just 2 laps to go, Tommy Osborne has a shot. He's closed in there quite a bit on Kerjelak.
He's within a second, Dave. He's like right at a second behind Michael Kerjelak. But as we come around through turns 3 and 4 here, we're going to come around to see the white flag this time by. White flag is in the air for Curtis Sauber. 1 lap to go. He can make it around here just 3/4 of a mile. As he heads through 1 and 2 cleanly here for the 54 Monster Energy Toyota of Curtis Sauber. Heads down the backstretch, a final time down into 3 and 4. Your winner of the Richmond North of Richmond 240, the number 54 of Curtis Sauber. Michael Kurgelak will finish in the 2nd position. Tommy Osborne finishes 3rd. Really caught the 19, finishes 3rd. James Nelson will finish 4th. James Bowden 5th. Tyrone Yo 6th. Tyler Nelson 7th. 8th is Michael Boone. 9th is Michael Bovair. And Smokey Robinson rounds out your top 10 tonight. But your winner of tonight's race, Curtis Sauber. Dave, let's see if we can get Tommy Osborne in the booth here.
Let's see. Hey, Tommy, Dave and Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Hey, not too bad. First and foremost, congrats on the P3. We were kind of talking in the booth. We knew you had a really good long-run car. I think it was before one of those pit stops you had closed in on the leaders. Just not enough time to get there. But, I mean, you were within, a couple car lengths of second there at the line. So, probably hoping you had a little bit more short-run speed to keep up. But that long-run speed was impressive.
Yeah, I was getting really, when I couldn't do nothing on the short run. It just seems like it would come to me after, to get some heat in the tires. But if I tried to get aggressive tonight with the cold tires, I about went into the wall a couple times.
Yeah, we noticed, so like on the I guess just before the final pit stop, I mean, you'd run down the leaders, and it was a 3-way battle for the lead there. And then I believe you were coming off of maybe coming through 3 and 4 there, or maybe off of 1 and 2. But it really, I think it was coming through 3 and 4. The car kind of got a little bit sideways on you, and you elected to go ahead and bring it on down pit road there. Was that an intended stop at that time, or was it because the car just got loose and you thought, hey, let me get it down here while it's already off pace a little bit?
Yeah, it got loose. It got loose, and then actually I thought Boone was, he was all over me too. I was pretty much driving out my rear view mirror at the time. So I was like, I don't want to push it. I'll get in, get some tires, and see how I finish.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, the long run speed was there for you. Congratulations on a top 3, man. The floor is yours. Shout out anybody you want to say hi to, or however you'd like to wrap this one up, bud. Congratulations on a P3.
Hey, just you guys, everybody, everything they do, the AARL guys, QFRL guys.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, we're going to send you back to celebrate. Again, great job tonight. It was fun watching you get out there and just run these guys down time after time after time all night long. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you. Thank you guys for doing what you do.
Yeah, man. That was Tommy Osborne in the number 1 Night Owl So Chevrolet, finishing in P3 tonight. Let's see if we can get Michael Kurgelak in.
Hey, Courage, Dave and Dave in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, I know it sucks to pretty much dominate this race, and it's just the car went away on you. Nothing you could really do. But, coming home in second place, still nothing to, it still should be, feel proud to come home P2 here. So, yeah, just a tough break. Just heartbreak is how I called it right there.
Man, I'm butthurt, man. It is a good points night. I think I pitted about 5 laps too soon, 5 to 8 laps, and I really pitted too early what I really wanted to do, and I think that may hurt me, but the car went away big time. But I'm glad Coach got a good win. He stayed right there with me, so I'm happy with second.
Yeah, man, you guys put on a good battle there. So you did walk away with very valuable stage wins tonight, sweeping the stage 1 and stage 2 there. And honestly, we thought you were going to sweep the whole thing. As you had a really quick car. Now, we did notice you bounced off the wall there a couple times in the last run, maybe 3 or 4 times. It didn't look like visually it did any damage. Was there any mechanical damage to the car, or did the tires just go away and start pushing really bad?
As I sit here, there's no damage to the car. It's just tires went away, my brakes went away. I was really struggling getting down into the corners, and it hurt me. Once he got to me, I was hurt.
Well, listen, man, P2 again, nothing to be upset about. Now we were kind of debating. Have you won with QFRL yet?
Not this season.
Okay, but you have won with him in the past.
Yeah, I got a few victories.
Okay, yeah, we weren't sure about that. We did look at the stats that you hadn't won this season. We were really secretly kind of pulling for you, but don't tell anybody. But yeah, man, it was good watching you run out there and really kind of dominate this thing. And unfortunate that it went away for you, but yeah, like you said, Curtis did everything he needed to do by staying there with you the entire time. But congratulations on a P2, man. The floor is yours.
I just want to say thank you to guys and to our sponsors, and good win to Curtis. I mean, he did the right thing, stayed there with me the whole time, and he took it there at the end. So I'm proud of him.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, that's great sportsmanship, and congratulations on a P2. We'll send you back to celebrate, bud, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week. That was Michael Kurgelak in the number 19 Ford finishing in P2. Should we bring in the winner? You know, we didn't do a ride along with him. Should we bring him in anyway?
Yeah, we'll talk to Curtis.
All right.
Hey, Curtis, Dave in the booth. You got us?
Hey, Mr. Lafano. How are y'all?
Oh, not too bad. Hey, hell of a way to win it there. I think Kurgelak kind of said it too. You kind of hung with him there throughout that whole last stage, and it just bided your time, it seems. And you had a little bit better tire than he did at the end. So, congrats on conserving some stuff there and sneaking in that win.
It was like you said. That was a gifted win. I appreciate it, Kurds. But yeah, I don't know what happened with him. He said he lost his car a little bit, but it was. I know last 20 laps, I said I got to buckle down. Let's go get him, and then I started catching him a little bit. So.
Yeah, we could notice when you really started pushing the car. We couldn't tell by the car acting. It wasn't out of shape. It wasn't pushing in the corners, but I could notice that your rotors in the corners were lighting up a lot a lot brighter than Kurgelak's. Were you really just driving it that much harder? I'm guessing. I know you were staying in his mirror there and making him kind of pay attention. Maybe push his car a little quicker or a little harder than he wanted to, earlier than he wanted to. Is that the strategy that you used to capitalize on the win?
Yeah, absolutely. You nailed it. That last run, I just said to myself, I need to stay within at least 1 second of them, and I did it till about 20 laps, and then I just started diving it in just a little bit deeper each run and using a little bit more brake than what I was actually a little comfortable with, but it worked out. I know we bumped right there as I was passing him. I felt a little bit bad about that.
Yeah, I think everything looked clean from our perspective. I mean, you guys may have made contact there, but that's going to happen from time to time when two competitive drivers are really fast on track. Listen, man, we missed doing the ride along with Curtis Dale. We did ride along with you secretly, but maybe that's a good thing.
Every time y'all don't do it, I win. So.
You know what happens when we do. So anyway, man, listen, that's awesome. You got the win. You did what it took to get it done, man. The floor is yours. Shout out anyone you want to shout out, and congratulations on a victory here in the North of Richmond 240.
I appreciate it. First and foremost, thank you to guys and the auto serve. You guys are awesome. Can't thank y'all enough. This was Kurt's race to win. I feel a little bit bad about it, but a win's a win. I'll take it. Especially I'm going to be out after a couple races, so I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man, it's good to get a win. We know you're having to step away for a bit, but and that's unfortunate. Are you going to hopefully make it back before the playoffs? No,
actually, September 12th, the first race after that, I'll be done. So I'll be done for the rest of the season, but. Well, I'm going to try to make it back, but we'll see.
Well, if not, man, you're welcome to come up here in the booth with us and help us call these things. It'd be a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun up here, and you'll realize even though it sucks to get out of your car, it's still fun to get up here and do this too. So you're welcome. If you want to try your shot at a little bit of broadcasting, I think the fans at home would like to hear from you. So you're welcome to do so if you want to, sir.
Absolutely. I'd enjoy it.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on the win, man. We're going to send you back to celebrate.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
All right. That was Curtis Auburn in the number 54 Monster Energy Toyota getting the victory here tonight. Dave, one heck of a race we saw here in Richmond tonight. Very small field, but they still were able to give us some action, something to talk about all night long.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some really great battles that went on throughout this run. James Nelson and Kurgelak there stand out when they ran, 5-6 laps door to door, wheel to wheel, before they finally decided who wanted to lead this race. So some really good battles, and like I said, a smaller field. I kind of expected a little bit more tame or mellow of a race, and that's kind of what we saw tonight. They kind of raced hard up front. They raced clean and respectful, and we got through this one very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, no cautions for incident. There were a few incidents on track, but unfortunately, I say unfortunately, but those cars cleared themselves from the track before the caution would come out. So no caution for incident, which makes it a very interesting race. Here are your race results. Your winner was Curtis Sauburn, followed by Michael Kurgelak in second, Tommy Osborne third, James Nelson fourth, James Bowden rounds out your top five, Tyrone Yo sixth, seventh was Tyler Nelson, Michael Boone finishes in the 8th position with Michael Bover in 9th, and Smokey Robinson, Gregory Robinson in the 10th position here tonight. Had a good time, Dave. Had a good time calling this one with you, man, and be looking forward to racing with you on Tuesday night for the All-American Racing League at Darlington, our final race of the regular season. Folks at home, be sure to tune in for that. Hit the thumbs up button on this video for us if you don't mind. Again, it's free, so go ahead and do it. And for Dave and Dave in the booth, we'll catch y'all next time